So there's almost a certain, I guess, ironic joy in realizing that the world is changing. Everything is in a steady process of change. You can't control that change, and it's better just to observe what's going on and do your best to help make the world better. Taking people to the river has turned out to be the thing that I believe I can offer to the world to try and help it be better.
一定要抓好这次旅程，就是这个漂流季节有几次。
I came over to China for the first time 15 years ago to join my dad on a first descent of the headwaters of the Salween in Tibet. And when I came to China and realized that your average Chinese citizen, actually almost any Chinese citizen, there's no way for them to get out on free-flowing rivers and no way for them to go out and experience the natural world that way, that was unthinkable to me, and I had to do something about it. Later on, I learned that not only people didn't have the opportunity to get on rivers, but many of these rivers were being dammed. And at the rate they were being dammed, very few people would ever have the chance to see any rivers in their pristine or natural state. I started spending my winters and summers trying to figure out ways to bring Chinese on river trips.
水稻。
And the feedback I got was, yeah, this is amazing. You know, just like on any river, anywhere in the world, just being on a wild river, it brings out the best in people, and it breaks down cultural barriers, and it allows people to get away from the society that all of us live in today. Shoot, it's crazy paddling. I mean, being a 7-year-old or a 6-year-old paddling through waves almost as tall as you are, it forces you to come to terms with nature at nature's level. And you grow through that process, and you gain a perspective of that you can't get anywhere else. When you're kayaking out on a river at any level of the activity, whether you've just come and you're a 8-year-old or a 7-year-old or a 5-year-old and it's your first time on moving water, or whether or not you're a 30-year-old that's been kayaking for 20-some years, like me, every time I run a rapid, every time I go push myself, I'm having this sort of same experience of putting myself at the mercy on some level of this big natural entity, you know, the river. We're not in as much control as we think we are. Just on a personal level, you know, I've been broke living in a tent or living on people's floors, friends' floors for months at a time. Just the kind of constant travel between the rivers and the cities. I spent time in a mental ward. I've broken down. I've burned myself out to the point that I've had mental health issues that, have taken a significant amount of time to get through. And part of those have been associated with losing rivers that we were really attached to, really wanted to protect. When we named Last Descents River Expeditions Last Descents, I thought it was a joke. I thought my idea was we would attract enough attention that people would come to the river and the rivers wouldn't be last descents anymore. That was kind of my thinking back then, and now it's funny to me that it's probably a very accurate, realistic name. The odds of this river disappearing behind dams it seems like it's fairly high. Before I just felt pain at all of the changes, and now I feel like, well, all that's important now is the rivers are here. What you learn from the river every time you go there is it's about the positive experiences you have with this place, and it's about the compassion and the good-hearted gratitude that it brings out in almost everyone that gets on a wild river. That's the essence of it. You've got to believe in the power of the river to take care of itself. You've got to believe that it's just makes sense for there to be free-flowing rivers in the world and for people to be able to experience them, and that's the right thing. Ultimately, people are going to care about that. We have the chance to get the kids out, and every time I see one of them smile, or every time I see one of them that used to be terrified of water, and then they're swimming to the takeout, or they're jumping in and enjoying it, that makes all the difference for me, because they're going to grow up. They're going to remember this, and they're going to grow up, and they're going to be leaders in the world, and the world is gradually going to become a better place. And who knows, maybe in 2 more years this river will be gone behind a reservoir, or 3 more years it'll be gone behind a reservoir, and this whole thing will have just been a castle in the sky. And if it was, I think it'll be worth it for everybody involved.